The stock market isn't as logical as you think. The question for you, John, is if a company's earnings doubled, why didn't the stock price double too?
Well, there's various factors that might account for that. Assuming that everything else is held equal, though, then typically we would see that if a company's stock price doubles, then the with EPS or earnings per share being one of the most important metrics for gauging the direction of the stock price, it should theoretically go up. Sometime like somewhere in the two x range, right? Unless the markets are irrational, right? But and actually, there is some evidence to suggest that, although the theory states very clearly that markets are highly efficient, to be honest, there's at least maybe two cases that I would make for maybe markets not being so efficient. One is I would direct you to David DeRosa's book, Bursting the Bubble, that was released at the CFA Institute, and that he basically argues that market bubbles are a result of either uh, irrational investing, which would suggest that our theory about efficient markets doesn't actually hold up, or that it is, or that the market bubbles don't actually exist. One of those two, and there's pretty compelling evidence in the book, and he goes for a lot of stuff there. So that's one. And the other reason, though, is that I in my own experience, I just don't actually think analysts are as accurate as they profess. And you could take that as my own hubris if you'd like, but that's just what I've noticed. And so one example that I give is the entrance into 2025 of JP Morgan and Deloitte, where they basically said, okay, well, we give 25% downside scenario to the US because we don't think that Trump is going to get through any of these policies that are bad. And that was obviously an undervaluation of the volatility in the market. So then a few months later, if you had, say, gone long volatility, you would have made a bunch of money. So just as one example, I guess it is to say, yes, the majority of the market is efficient, but there are some, subsets of it that are not, and those are, I think, more common than people pretend that they are.
Amazing. Subscribe. Help us grow. Bye.